Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Marissa Kozlov, and it is great to have you with us for today's eMarketer Tech Talk, where we host guests from all areas of media, ad tech, and MarTech. Today, we're talking about the fundamentals of customer data platforms and why they're essential for AI-powered personalization. I am really looking forward to all of the great content that we have in store for you today. And I'm joined by my very special guest from Twilio Segment, Sonia Sidhpura, Director of Product Marketing. Sonia, it is so nice to have you with us today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
To our audience, you are really in for a treat. As I mentioned, the content is absolutely fantastic. AI is on everyone's mind, but let's keep it conversational. We would love to hear from you. So if you have any questions during the presentation, just use the chat window on the right-hand side of the screen at any time to submit questions. We will do our best to get to as many as we can, so please keep those coming. Sonia, it is now time to get started. I'm going to pass it to you.
Thanks, Marissa. So I'm Sonia Sidhpura, Director of Product Marketing at Twilio Segment. And today I am thrilled to be here to demonstrate how to unlock the full potential of your customer data with AI. And so AI technology itself is nothing new. In fact, it's been around for decades in different forms. Machine learning and algorithms were created and evolved alongside the computer and the internet. And the first wave of AI technology helped to process, analyze large and complex data sets to automate tasks and predict future outcomes. But these innovations have mostly been contained to the tech ecosystem. And so what makes this new wave of innovations that's been ushered in by ChatGPT and generative AI different, that it's really broken through the tech only and has crossed into the mainstream awareness. And with AI being accessible and useful to people, even though they don't necessarily understand how it works, it's not only changing technology, it's ultimately transforming people's everyday lives. And so this year, where we're at, it's an inflection point, and we don't know where this is going to go. By the time next year, maybe every human could have an app that will help leverage generative AI to plan their perfect wedding or design the best investment portfolio for their retirement. It's estimated that 463 exabytes of data will be created every day by 2025. That's a lot of data. And so it's equivalent to 200 million DVDs. Remember the DVD? It's this massive amount of data that has helped launch the new revolution that just started to hit a transformational inflection point, the AI revolution. And so it's an incredibly exciting time. So it's understandable that experimentation with AI in business is at an all-time high. Our 2023 State of Personalization report found that more than 9 in 10 businesses, or 92%, are using AI-driven personalization to drive growth in business. And so consumer demands for personalization continue to skyrocket, and today's businesses see a massive opportunity for AI to help them meet those demands. But despite massive investments in AI, barriers for AI adoption remain, and business leaders cite security and compliance, poor quality data as the biggest obstacles to leveraging AI successfully. So if you're going to implement AI to power customer experiences, you need to keep the consumer's view on AI in mind. And so our data shows that work will need to be done to lift consumer confidence in AI-powered customer experiences. More than half of consumers are uncomfortable with AI being used to personalize their experiences. It's the need to build consumer trust in AI-driven personalization. Businesses must first establish this trust in the data used to deliver that personalization. And so powering AI with zero and first-party data that consumers have consented to share allows brands to deliver personalized experiences that don't compromise their customers' privacy. So while this is an exciting time for businesses, these AI breakthroughs need to be balanced with considerations of consumers' privacy and trust. But historically, 85% of AI projects have failed. According to Jim Hare at Gartner's research, who's VP there, explains that the reason most AI projects have failed is the data, saying data is the fuel of AI. This is from a Gartner report a few years ago, before ChatGPT burst onto the scene, but we believe it's even more true today with generative AI. This confluence of every trend we just discussed really leads to one conclusion. AI is only as effective as the underlying data used. I'm going to say that again. AI is only as effective as the underlying data used. It's like an electric vehicle that hasn't been properly charged. AI that hasn't been powered by high quality data, real-time data, will only give you that limited mileage. And you could have the most innovative technology, the smartest minds, and unlimited resources. This is the dream, right? But your AI initiatives will still be likely to fail without the right data. And unfortunately, most companies struggle to manage their data, and that's for the following reasons. First, data is fragmented. The average company has over 50 customer data sources, multiple systems they've invested in to help manage their data and effectively reach their customers. But data everywhere, that equals data silos. And not only is data siloed across different systems, but it's also across teams. And so we constantly hear from marketers about how much time it takes them to track down a customer list from their data teams in order to run their campaigns. And with all these data silos, it really is difficult to get a complete view of your customer, because not only is this not centralized, but it can be inconsistent within each different tool or touch point, making it really difficult to get a full and accurate picture of your customer profile. This, of course, has an impact on how well you can personalize, and often results in disjointed customer experiences and journeys. To solve this, companies try to retrofit a better way to manage their data on top of existing solutions. But patchwork solutions, it really generally creates a lot of extra work and still leads to those tools remaining one-dimensional and not extensible or scalable. So bad data, it's an expensive problem to have, one that ultimately hampers the ability to gain a competitive edge in the market. And so if your customer data is siloed, inconsistent, stale, or incomplete, even the most innovative AI applications, it'll have less of an impact. And success will come down to having the best trained model. So what's the solution? Our customer data maturity framework, from this starting point of messy, siloed data to a place where you can leverage data effectively to anticipate your customers' wants and needs. It ultimately enables you to deliver a true omnichannel, AI-driven engagement as your business data strategy matures. The key here is that this is an iterative process and it delivers value all the way along. But you can't just jump in and start activating AI right away. So what I'll do today is I'll walk through these stages: foundational, advancing, and adaptive. In the foundational stage, we're looking at understanding basic information about a customer. Say we know a customer has purchased a watch. At this level, maybe we're going to do some basic targeting and say, hey, there are some accessories available for this watch you just purchased. It's a cross-sell opportunity, but we just have some basic audience information. We know that they bought the watch, and we're going to recommend that they check out some watch bands. Then we move to the advancing level. So we're starting to enhance the raw data and experimenting with channels. So maybe our hypothetical customer mostly used the mobile website. So we'll make that inference and try to connect over SMS. We'll see if the pace or the ability to interact is enhanced based on how we reach out. And this might be considered a growth hack stage. And finally, we get to the adaptive level. And so you've collected the raw data, you've cleaned and enhanced it, and you can start to actually predict how customers are likely to interact. It's the ways that drive the bottom line. And so instead of one-off experiments, you're now predicting in real time across all customers, or we have generative content going out. But we're able to trust the models you've built and the predictions they make because we have worked systematically to get to the point. And so the best solutions have the customer at the heart of the journey. Customers move fast around your organization, ad to web to e-commerce. The best companies have a consistent, persistent, and a trusted view of the customer that draws from every part of the organization and every interaction in the customer journey so that each experience can be personalized for that individual. Twilio Segment was created with first-party data at its core and allows you to collect, unify, and activate data all in one platform. First, we collect, process, validate, synthesize, and organize customer data from every data source across all the platforms and channels, eliminating data silos, ensuring you always have clean and accurate data, and giving you a unified, real-time view into each and every customer, no matter what they are and where they are in their buying journey. With Segment's profile, sync, and reverse ETL products, you can further enrich and automatically sync identity resolution customer profiles in real time to your data warehouses. And once these dynamic customer profiles are created, we make it easy for you to activate these profiles across all your customer channels and downstream tools without having to rely on technical teams. And lastly, it's important to note, particularly for those who are looking to consolidate your tech stack and take a data-first approach to multi-channel marketing, that Segment has an activation layer, Twilio Engage, that offers a customer's engagement solution where marketers can easily build complex behavioral audiences, orchestrated multi-channel journeys, and ultimately deliver real-time, personalized customer experiences at scale. Twilio Segment has earned a customer roster that spans the world's largest enterprises, Intuit, IBM, as well as some of the fastest moving disruptors in industries that are rapidly changing, like the student loan company Earnest and SaaS companies like PagerDuty. Segment's real-time identity resolution has created golden customer records for 5.8 billion end users and 25,000 businesses and processes, 2.5 million events per second across the 80,000 websites and 5,000 mobile apps. That's a lot of numbers, right? But you can see the impact that Twilio Segment is making. And some leading brands are already powering AI, ML with Twilio Segment to provide personalized experiences. With a strong customer data infrastructure with unified profiles as the foundation, businesses can understand exactly what makes their customers tick and to leverage AI to deliver these personalized experiences at scale. To paint a better picture of how customers are building models with Twilio Segment to drive engagement, let's take a look at Allergan Aesthetics. A bit of background, we know Allergan as a global pharmaceutical company that manufactures Botox cosmetics, along with the collection of beauty and medical products used by approximately 4 million people per year. And so Allergan's legacy architecture had significant gaps. Customer data was disconnected across its portfolio of brands, digital products, with a lack of cohesion throughout different brands. Team was unable to tie together users across these digital experiences. And the key missing piece from their architecture was that there wasn't a centralized golden record of a consumer. And so this inability to track a customer's journey from marketing channels, registration, treatment prevented from the team delivering more direct personalized experiences. And so Allergan selected Twilio Segment to capture and standardize customer data from across their portfolio of brands and automatically load that data into their data warehouse, Snowflake. And so using segment-enriched data in Snowflake, the product engineering team built out machine learning models to predict relevant offers, products, content for each customer. And these predictions are piped into their applications and websites so that they could deliver personalized content and increase their engagement. So they were armed with centralized, trusted customer data through Twilio Segment, plus their machine learning models and AI-based audiences built with Segment and Snowflake together. The team was able to deliver a centralized and customized resource as well as customized content, offers and resource rewards directly to customers throughout their updated loyalty app. And within their new loyalty program, some insights that they've gained from their AI model, they were able to generate 400 million in sales driven in 2021 year to date by DTC, sign up of 3 million loyalty users, and driving up a 41% reduction in completing a purchase cost per acquisition. The impact was huge. And so, I chatted a lot about Twilio Segment, and I'm sure you're interested in learning more about Twilio Segment. Luckily, we have our largest conference, Twilio Signal, which is our customer and developer conference, where we're going to be announcing some amazing capabilities. And I'd love for you to be a part of it. And so you can register at signal.twilio.com 2023 segment. And it is free, it's virtual. So definitely sign up to find out more. And with that, I see that there are some questions coming in, Marissa. I'd love to try to answer some of them.
We do. Well, first, let me say thank you so much for all of the great content today. That was such an insightful presentation. You had so much great data in there, and I'm jotting down as you're speaking. You had a lot of quotable moments right there. So some of my favorites were bad data is an expensive problem to have. As soon as you said that, I thought, that is so true. And I think a lot of our audience was probably nodding their heads along with that too. And I think the comparison that you made with AI and the electric car, and that the electric car that hasn't been charged, I think that really hit home, and I think resonated, at least with me and probably with a lot of people. So thank you so much for sharing all of those great examples, the data, and of course that great case study that you had with Allergan. It was really, really wonderful to hear all of this great information today. So let's kick it off with some of those questions that you mentioned. They are coming in and there's still time. So if you have any questions, please let us know. The first question is, what does personalization look like when you don't have a lot of information about the customer, such as when you're expanding into a new market without a pre-existing customer base?
That's a great question. So it's really important to have a robust identity resolution engine that can identify people as quickly as possible and certainly does ameliorate this problem. But really, there's no magic wand here. And so you can only act with the information you have. So it's definitely a challenge. And really, one of the best options here is to look how you're filling the funnel, right? And so how effective is your targeting on these programs that are driving those first-time visitors to your website? If you're driving those ads and campaigns or those lead magnets with strong consented first-party data, and if you're using audiences of that quality to build your lookalike audiences on your platforms of choice, your first-time visitors, much likely to be solid leads that respond well to your base messaging. And so the ID resolution and further personalization really takes over from there. But great question.
Those are really good points. Thank you for sharing that. One viewer asked about the use cases that you discussed in today's presentation. They say that they primarily focus on predictive AI. So can Twilio Segment make use of generative AI as well? What are your thoughts on that one?
The answer is, in short, yes. We will be making more announcements about this at Signal. So definitely sign up if you want to learn more. But there are definitely many exciting applications for generative AI in a CDP that can be used to find the right people you want to target, generate marketing content personalized to each customer, and generating responses for direct interactions, like support calls, for example.
Okay. Well, you talked about the roadmap to get to AI. Where can our viewers download that?
Yeah, so we do have an ebook that is available. I think it's segment.com/customer data maturity. The great part is that this ebook is very comprehensive and it breaks down every step in far more detail than what I was able to touch on, because we just have a short amount of time. And of course, I would love to spend all the time to walk through that, but I highly recommend checking out that ebook.
All right. Well, that is fantastic to know that that is available. And is there a different area where our viewers can learn more about Twilio Segment?
Yeah, so you can certainly go to our website at segment.com, book a one-on-one demo. I believe that's segment.com/demo. Or again, attend our conference, our virtual conference, Signal, which is free. So definitely tune into that. And I can certainly pull that slide up if we need again.
All right. Well, it sounds like it's going to be a great event. We are going to take one more question today, and we had a few people ask versions of this question, so I'll wrap it all into one. How can you ensure your AI models are operating ethically?
So that's a really great question. And the subject of AI ethics, well, it's a broad one, right? So I'm not going to be able to touch on every single point, but what I can say is that there are many ethical concerns around AI, and models really come down to training data. And with Segment, you can be sure that it's consented first-party data. And what does first-party data? I touched on that a bit, but I want to dive into that a little bit more. And it means data collected directly by your company. The first implication is that you're being very transparent with your customers about the data you're collecting from them. When and why? We believe very strongly in building customer trust and first-party data, prioritizing data privacy, and only collecting data that is necessary, because the predominant sentiment from customers is that the way their data is treated reflects on how they themselves want to be treated. And the second is that when you only use your data that you collect yourself, you can be sure of where the data is actually coming from, and you're not using unverified data from data brokers that you may not have all the information there as to how that data was collected and without consent. So again, with Twilio Segment, it's about first-party data.
Wonderful. And that trust is of utmost importance. So, Sonia, I want to thank you so much for being here, for the great content that you share with us, and of course, for answering the questions from our audience. It was so good to see you today.
Thanks, Marissa. It was amazing to be here today.
Well, before we wrap up, I'm just going to take a moment to tell our audience what's happening across eMarketer's media channels. You can register for some upcoming live analysts as well as Tech Talk webinars at emarketer.com/webinars. On the audio side, we have a great daily podcast called Behind the Numbers, which you can download everywhere you listen to podcasts. And of course, please check out our newsletters. Keep an eye on your email for the link to today's recording. And thank you again all for your time. And thanks to Sonia, the team at Twilio Segment, and our Studio II crew, which is the eMarketer production team behind the scenes, for making this webinar possible today. We'll see you all on the next Tech Talk.